Hello! The legislative session has been over for a couple weeks now, so I thought I'd give you a little rundown of what was in the bills that got passed and signed into law. Minnesota was actually the only divided legislature in the entire country, with Republicans in the Senate and Democrats in the House. So we were basically a case study on can divided governments work? I mean, with how everything today is so hyper-partisan, every little tweet and this and that is a cultural touchstone for both sides, and immediately everybody's at each other's throat. I'd say Minnesota, we've actually demonstrated that we can actually get some stuff done. The bills were pretty darn good, I would say myself. I mean, not everything was good in them, but if everybody's not happy, that probably means it was a good compromise. So I'll quick walk through the two biggest issues and then basically list them off really quick. And if there's anything you have questions about, please let me know. The biggest news out of the session is that there will be no new gas tax. Governor Walz proposed a 20-cent gas tax increase with an inflator, so it goes up every year. And even without that new gas tax, we'll be seeing significantly more transportation funding because last session we dedicated the sales tax on auto parts to roads and bridges. The thought being, if you're buying auto parts, you're probably using our roads and bridges. And that's generating significantly more money than anticipated, which is really important because we'll need a lot of money to fix Highway 65. In less good news, the sick tax is being extended. The sick tax is a 2% tax on your doctor visits to any healthcare provider, either a doctor, a surgeon, to a dentist or chiropractor. This tax was set to end this year, which would have lowered healthcare costs for everyone, but it got extended, so we have lost a great opportunity to make a meaningful dent in healthcare costs. But there is silver lining. It got reduced to 1.8% from 2%, so at least we made some progress on that. Those two issues were the biggest things to come out of the budget. From here, I'll just list a few highlights so you can get an idea what else got done. But feel free to let me know if there's something I didn't cover that you'd like to hear about. There will be a small income tax cut for individuals making between $25,000 and $85,000 a year. We increased license fees for opioid manufacturers to fund treatment to fight the opioid epidemic, which now kills more people than car accidents. And if you've been to the DMV recently and noticed it's even worse than usual, you'll be happy to know we're finally scrapping MinLars, which is the vehicle services software that the government was working on that has been the source of all these problems. And now we're going to have the private sector develop software, and hopefully that will fix all these problems. We also put in new wage theft provisions that will help root out those bad actors that aren't paying their employees. And we're cracking down on the pervasive fraud in the child care assistance program. Well, some provisions didn't make it, like disqualifying fraudulent providers from getting funding in the future. Many good provisions did make it, which should help stem the tide going forward. And schools will receive a nice 2% increase on their formula funding, as well as money specifically dedicated to their special education programs, because those are growing exponentially out of control. All in all, the budget spends about $48.3 billion. The Senate wanted $47.7, the House wanted $49.8, so I think $48.3 is a good compromise. And again, if I didn't cover a subject you'd like to know more about, just let me know and I'll get back to you on that. And thanks for listening.